Roll up that left arm sleeve with either one. Doesn't matter. It's time for a shot of vitamin T. Good morning and welcome, Teresa Tomeo.
Good morning. How are you? Great to be with you this morning.
Great to be with you as well. Would have loved to have been with you on Saturday.
Yes.
For your special trip to Orvieto.
Yes, Orvieto.
Orvieto.
About 45 minutes south of us. We've been all over the place. It's crazy. We're just putting on so many miles at all these different things we're doing. But so this coming weekend, Pat and Dave, this is going to be the last weekend that you can venerate the miraculous corporal, the image that was placed, or the spots that were placed on the corporal from the Eucharist that bled down in Bolsena, which is south of Orvieto, and was brought to Orvieto to the Pope at the time, and it's still housed there. So it's on the corporal. There's blood stains from the Eucharist, the consecrated host, and they venerate it. They put it available for veneration twice a year, at Christmas time through Epiphany, and then again during the Easter season until Pentecost. So this weekend will be the last time. If you know anyone who's visiting Central Italy at this time of year, it's a great thing to do during the Easter seasons. You can go into the corporal chapel, the special chapel of the miracle, and this is the miracle of Corpus Christi, and you see the corporal that is behind this large reliquary, and they open the doors, and it's kept in another reliquary protected behind glass, and then you can venerate that amazing object of worship. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Wow. So what else do you have going on now that you're in that area?
Well, yeah, we live in this area. We're about an hour from Orvieto, but last week we were in northwestern Italy, Pat, way north, like 6 hours north of us. We were in Pier Giorgio Frassati territory.
Okay.
And in the area of Polone and Sordevolo and Biella, which is a place where they have this beautiful, wonderful passion play every 5 years.
Okay.
And so we're taking a group there next September of 2027. So we were brought on an educational tour, and we went to this region and we saw the beautiful shrine of Europa and the Black Madonna. And that whole area up there, you talk about real people, you talk about real faith. So this pilgrimage that we're doing next September 27, is going to be a real slice of life. And you get to meet some of the saints, including St. Pier Giorgio Frassati and St. Gianna Beretta Molla, who's not far from there, next year on this trip. What a beautiful area. So again, we've been very busy. We went all over that part of Italy. That's the furthest north we've ever been, guys. We've been to Torino, we've been to Milan, we've been to Lake Como, but we were literally like 90 minutes from the French border. So it was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, when I was young, Teresa, everything was about St. Pier Giorgio. And then, of course, you had Carlo come and you had the two of them canonized together. But what is it like there in Italy? I mean, here in the United States, you hear a lot about Carlo Acutis, not as much about St. Pier Giorgio.
Well, St. Pier Giorgio, it's a great question, is actually, I think, better well known than St. Carlo right now. Because Carlo was canonized last year, and they were canonized, as you said, at the same time. He's getting to be more well known in Italy. But prior to that, Frassati has been pretty popular here in the northern parts of Italy, especially in Turin and Milano. And his tomb is actually in the same church where the shroud is kept. So that's a whole other.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really cool place to visit, St. John the Baptist Church, and we'll be going there next year. But what's so cool about Frassati is they have it's like being with him, because he used to climb the Alps, and he used to hike all the way up to this shrine to see the Black Madonna, and then go up in the Alps and hike among the mountains. And so they have a lot of images of him. And in this one beautiful church of the Black Madonna, there's a big picture of him there. And it's so cool because he would hike all the way up this mountain from the family summer home. Guys, it must be 5 miles up to the top of that mountain. I'm not kidding. And it's around and around and around. And we took a van, and it took us about 15 minutes to get to the top to go to the shrine.
Wow.
So it gives you a new respect for the dedication of these saints who love to go and seek silence, especially someone like a St. Pier Giorgio Frassati, who came from a very wealthy family, but he loved to get back to nature. So it was a really moving experience, and I feel like we're well now versed in the area. So when we bring pilgrims next year, God willing, we can share a lot of insight that we gained in the last week.
I just remember the famous picture, the one that I saw of him that encouraged me as such a young man, him on a mountaintop smoking a pipe. He's just so fabulous.
Yeah. And looking very, a suave and a very handsome young Italian man, but just so dedicated to the Eucharist and to the poor. And you get that sense of the people there as well. And it's interesting about this Passion Play. It's been going on for over 200 years in the nearby town of Sordevolo. And so I was asking Jesus, the man who was playing Jesus, who spoke very good English, I said, well, why here and why is it still going on? And I didn't know this, guys, but I learned that there were many similar passion plays in that part of Italy in the mountains, because many of the people were still, even in, let's say, the early 1800s and 1900s, they couldn't read or write. They were illiterate. And so they used the passion play as a way to share the faith. And then the other towns, the plays in those other locations died out. But for whatever reason, Sordevolo kept going. And it's so cool because it's all volunteers. It's all residents. They don't get paid. And they have a beautiful amphitheater that seats about 2,500 people. And they only do this every 5 years. But they're so dedicated. They make all the props. They do everything themselves. It's fascinating.
So, Teresa, as you get ready for like one of these kinds of tours that you're going to do next year, do you always kind of do this kind of research, going out, looking at all these places so you know exactly where you're going to be going and what to see and what maybe isn't as important to see? Is that kind of your regular way of doing this?
I wish it were, but that's not always possible because obviously I have the commitment to the radio program, which I love, and it's difficult for me to get away sometimes. But the good news is, Pat, and that's a great question, is that this was a brand new area. So Deacon Dom and I had never been to this section, so we felt it important for us to go there and to experience it and to meet the people. Now, most of the pilgrimages we do, for example, the one that we're doing with Dr. Bunson, who's on my show today, and we still have a few seats left, I'm very familiar, obviously, with Rome, with Viterbo, with Orvieto, where we're staying, and also Arezzo, where we've been. So we've been to those places either on our own or with previous groups. But I totally think it's important for us to know where we're going and to understand it so we can help the pilgrims understand it. And I wish every time we go to a new place, it should be, now that you put that in my head, I'm going to tell corporate travel. Pat told me you have to
That's
send me
right.
there.
Now I have to do this. This is my routine now. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's such a great experience. They packed it in. I mean, we got there Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon, and we started touring Tuesday. Got up at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. We were gone all day till 11 o'clock. The same thing on Thursday. I mean, it was a busy 2.5 days. But they couldn't have been more gracious and more excited. And they want to expand this. They want to become like Oberammergau. You know, Oberammergau was very well known. And this one is not as well known. It's much shorter, too. I think that'll be more attractive to people. Oberammergau is 10 hours, 10 and a half hours. This is only 2 hours. So it's a little bit easier to sit for 2 hours than 10 hours. So.
Before we miss the opportunity, you said still a few seats with your trip with Dr. Bunson.
Yeah.
Tell us about how to go on and claim those.
Yeah, you could just go to, again, teresatomeo.com and go to the events section and click on the flyer. We want to keep it to one bus, and we have I think we have 33, 34 people, which is a great amount, and we're full speed ahead. But I always like to get around 40 people. If we could get some more people to be in the footsteps of the popes with the Dr. Matthew Bunson, I mean, seriously, come on.
Right.
And to see some of these places. So, again, if you'd like to join us, it's going to be a beautiful trip. It's coming up in October. Weather is gorgeous in October. And, again, you can just either call Corporate Travel Service, our partner here at Ave Maria Radio and, of course, Annunciation Radio, or just go to teresatomeo.com and to my events section.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So, Teresa, do you, how here in the United States we have lots of shrines to different saints, and obviously we don't have the bodies there. When you're over in Rome and Italy, like you were talking about Giorgio Frassati, his tomb, is that kind of what they consider the shrine to him, or are there other kinds of places that have more of a shrine feel to it? How does that work?
Well, it depends, because sometimes one singular church will be dedicated to a particular saint. For example, St. Dominic's in Siena, or St. Catherine, where her relics are. But for Pier Giorgio Frassati, he's buried in a much larger church, for example, St. John the Baptist. So it just depends. But there are separate shrines and separate churches just built around a singular tomb.
Great.
I love talking about wonderful people of the past with a wonderful person in the present, Teresa Tomeo. So thank you so much, Teresa.
God
we
bless.
needed our shot of vitamin T. Thanks
Thanks,
for
Happy Memorial Day, guys. God
Yeah,
bless
same
as well.
to you.
Yeah.